there is no success story for you. Like if you've made the decision that you are the greatest of all time and like you feel it in your bones, maybe you don't feel it in your bones when you first say it, but like you just have this feeling like that's where I'm going. That's my trajectory. You attach yourself to that trajectory and you're now on a rocket ship to the moon and you're just looking at the scenery and you're just commenting, you're making observations. Oh, we're in this level of the atmosphere right now. And the view from up here is pretty nice. It's really cool. We're moving further and further and further ahead. And it's like, I'm having a great time. It just becomes a matter of like, okay, what's your story? What is your story? If you're truly committed to being the greatest basketball player of all time and you don't let that go for like the entirety of your life, the result is the story that happens by the time that you get to your deathbed. That's your story, you know? And if you stay committed, then you'll have a story. And maybe some person, maybe your son will say it. Maybe your son will say, no, my dad was the greatest basketball player of all time. When I look at the current landscape of athletes within the sport of natural bodybuilding, I understand why it's been marginalized and why it's been in like the shadows, because the athletes themselves aren't looking to create waves. They're not looking to like, you know, be put up on a podium or a pedestal of like greatness and like, oh, superstardom. Like that specific natural bodybuilding circuit are not interested in those things. That will change now that the IFBB has like kind of planted their own flag and are looking to promote natural bodybuilding more, because the type of athletes that IFBB attracts, they're already kind of in that mindset of like greatness, recognition, accolades, fame, success, monetary value. Whereas all the other federations, those athletes weren't accustomed to getting those things. So why would they be trained to think of pursuing it?
Hey guys, not to take up too much of your time so we can get straight into the podcast, allow me to thank my sponsors quickly. Macro Foods, you can go to macrofoods.com.au and use code MTP10 to get 10% off all your orders. Nutrition Warehouse, your number one supplement store. You can go to nutritionwarehouse.com.au and you can use code MTP15 to get 15% off. And Alka Power Water, your number one alkaline water, found in many, many stores. Go down into our description and you can find out more. Late bloomer to bodybuilding, a late bloomer to hard work. They didn't turn up to his birthday party. Is he starting wars? Cheers to having passion, interest, hobbies, and professions. Is life hidden in the daily pursuit? The next Pumping Iron or Creed spectacular? Possibly the biggest conversationalist I've ever seen. Actor, filmmaker, storyteller. 2 significant moments at 12, told he was ugly, and then he was told he was really beautiful at the same time. The man that wants to pay homage to his dad and Arnold Schwarzenegger. Let's blow this place up. The future mayor of LA. Will you know and remember his name? Natty King, Shaun Fury.
That's an intro. That is an intro. Wow.
There you go.
Yeah, that's huge.
You can probably tell some places I went researching, you know what I'm trying to say? Some places. I mean, you did offer me a script, but I think there was something about starting wars. One of your posts was starting wars.
Yes.
Cheers to having passion, interest, hobbies, and profession.
Yes.
The next big thing, the Pumping Iron and Creed, you use them two as reference.
Yes.
And which one other one was? Oh, yeah, where you're a late bloomer to hard work. You just don't want it.
Yeah.
Hey, welcome to the party. I never wanted to work hard and I'm still struggling. Tell me, when did that start? Because for me, I'll tell you quickly where it started from me. As soon as I finished school and I went to my first job, and the next day I got up and I swung my legs around on my bed, dangled them off the side of the bed, and I said, is this it? This is bullshit. I said, I don't want to do this.
Yeah, I can totally relate to that.
Yeah.
So the value of hard work I didn't discover until I discovered bodybuilding.
Yes.
Yeah. Because it's like once it became clear, oh, practicing consistency, having like the same diet every day, training, you know, on a consistent basis, and everything gets regimented for the purpose of like creating an ideal physique.
Yes.
That's when that's where the value came from. Whereas before, a person, like I would see a person working hard and then like, what are they getting for it? They get to work they get to work hard again tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then what are you getting for that? And you get nothing. There's literally you don't get anything.
Yeah.
So like the only thing I can get from working hard is like perfection, excellence, and greatest of all time.
Yeah. I love the sound of that. Do you find it though? Look, I do, and probably this morning was, like a clear indication of that. Do you sometimes feel that the hard work and the discipline and trying to be the good guy can sometimes test you, want to make you crack?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Definitely the good guy part, because I feel like I straddle between being the good guy and the bad guy within like the narrative.
Yeah.
And I absolutely struggle with it. And there are plenty of times where I want to crack, and I feel like my ego is like the bad guy of my own story, and whenever I like, allow my ego to fully express itself, then I'm quickly perceived as narcissistic, arrogant, overconfident, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, which are all like, considered negative traits. And then if I practice selflessness and compassion and, empathy, then I'm perceived as like the good guy. So it's like, there's like a yin and yang to the whole thing,
It just dawned on me. I think I have the same dilemma. I have the same dilemma as you. I'm perceived as arrogant. I'm perceived as possibly even sometimes a know-it-all, whatever it is. And I think because you and me, we're conversationalists. We like to talk, right?
Yes.
And if the room isn't talking or the person you're sitting with isn't talking, we take the slack and we talk. And then they wonder, why are you talking so much? And you feel like saying, well, fuck, mate, will you just bring up a conversation? Maybe steer your end of the bargain. But I think I've just realized, Shaun, it's our pay grade. See, if we're on $1 billion, we'll never get called arrogant because we've got $1 billion. But because we've got $1,000 in our bank account, we're arrogant. We've got the same attitude at $1 billion or 1,000, but they're looking at your status. Why isn't Shaun getting out of a Bugatti? Oh, sorry. Is it Bugatti? What is it, Chris? It is Bugatti. Yeah. And why isn't he flaunting his Armani? And how come we're not sitting him in the and those? Oh God! Now I'm going to stereotype them. And those type of people that necessarily, possibly, like shallowness, like the shallow people, they don't even say anything. But because we are trying to make a good guy win by his efforts, and obviously we want the money in return. There's no denying that.
Sure.
But yeah, I think maybe it's our pay grade why we get judged this way.
Yeah, and that's why I'm so happy that I discovered sports. I discovered sports like very late in my life.
Yep.
And when you think of like sports icons and sports stars, you've got people like Michael Jordan, who, again, that's another perfect example of an individual who reached like the highest levels of that specific sport and chosen profession. But his past and his personality is checkered with flaws, and there's like flecks of dirt on him for being like overly aggressive, and his teammates are like thinking of him as like he's kind of tyrannical, right?
Oh, yeah.
But he still achieves greatness, and then he goes down in history as the greatest of all time. So like there seems to be like always like a yin and yang to the pursuit of achieving such a status for yourself. Like it's almost like hard to escape.
Is it? I think. Let me try to get my glasses back on. I think it's that's why I love these podcasts and talking to people. I've got a script here, and we never ever really go to this script. But I'm hoping that people out there are getting a little bit extra than just we're talking bodybuilding, because it's all chicken and rice at the end of the day, and it's all progressive overload, and it's playing with your head and body dysmorphia. But having said that, I think that I think I just lost my train of thought saying all that.
Something about Michael Jordan.
Yeah, I think that I don't think you can succeed by being a people pleaser. And again, these lights are going off in my head, because there's those that are people pleasers, and sometimes that frustrates them a lot because they realize they are. But then they want to be because they want to be liked by everyone and liked at the party. And I always say, like, I love going to parties. I love them, but I struggle in them because, and again, can it be a positive way? I'm a very judgmental person, and I think all of us are. We all deny it, but I think when we walk in somewhere, if someone is carrying on, let's say they've got a glass in their hand, and they're talking out loud, and they're carrying on, you're probably thinking for a moment, oh, show off, or probably had a few too many drinks, whatever it is. But when you talk to them, you realize, oh my God, they're such a lovely person. And I love that. I love the judgment. But I'm not afraid to go up and say hello, because I need to be told this in my face. I don't need me. So I think, like I said, people like Michael Jordan and I think a lot of successful people, we seem like extroverts, but we're very introverted people because there's a lot of noise going on inside our head. We want to achieve. We want to have some greatness. So I think you definitely will, like I said, I think achievement comes with people judging us and getting it wrong.
I think you said a lot of great nuggets there. One thing I kind of want to refute is I don't believe that everyone is judgmental, because I actually don't consider myself as judgmental.
Well, that's okay. We're not, like I said, that's my thoughts.
But I will say that I think there's an option between being incredibly judgmental, because if I were to choose that, then I would have this feeling, I personally would have this feeling of disdain for 99% of the world's population, because I don't feel like they're doing enough with their lives.
Yeah.
And I would be judging them. So like, why aren't you living up to your fullest potential? Like you came into this world with the potential to achieve greatness. And why are so many of you just lounging around watching TikTok? And I would just feel a lot of discomfort and vitriol towards my fellow person. So instead, I work with observation. I observe that people would rather sit back and commune and socialize. I observe that people would rather socialize over achievement. And I don't attach a judgment to that. What I do is I judge myself, and I understand that like I'm not interested in doing what everyone else is doing because it's already been done before.
Yeah.
I've always been committed to seeing something that can be done that has not yet been actualized in reality. And like that's where my motivation comes from. If it's been done, I don't want to do it.
Wow. Okay.
Like I just don't want to do it if it's already been done.
Hey guys, Steve here. I hope you're enjoying the podcast. I don't want to take up too much more of your time. You know the drill. We'd love you to subscribe. We'd love you to hit the notification bell. Why? It gets us out there, allows us to go and get bigger, better, greater. We've already had some great guests, as you know, but we want to continue this. We want to continue this journey with you. So if you could, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you're notified each time we put up a new podcast. Thank you for allowing me to take you away from the podcast. Let's get back to it. Well, I like I said, I see your point. I mean, I think when I say I don't question someone's truth, whether they're lying, it's up to them, because the truth lies in silence. It lies with the beholder. So I don't really do, but like I said, when it comes to judgment, I'm not going in saying he's an idiot, he's smart, he's this. What I mean is I might scan the room and go, I really like that person's attire. Like, and or I might scan the room and say, he could have put I don't think that shirt goes. But the thing is, but I love that in them. I fucking, what I'm trying to say is, I don't fucking think I'm right. I just want to know that I can conversate it in my head without putting down the other person, but me having a deliberation, because I don't want to sit there and go, I'm right. And I don't want to sit there and go, they're right, because fuck off, I'm not going to put myself down. But at the same time, I find, like I said, I love it when people prove me wrong. I love it. I love it when they show me a way I've never seen before. And I love it when they take my hand. I love it. And I'm a team player, but I find the world's not like that, if that makes sense. And I find that, like you said, we will go back to the beginning, a narcissist, intimidating, arrogant. That's because we want to take their hand and say, come along with me, but they get it all wrong. And I think with us, we have a big mind and possibly a big heart. And we've got to be careful with that, especially when you're trying to achieve greatness. And I guess I want to, before I go into that,
Sure.
I noticed that you have a very strong belief in what you say. In other words, whether it's happening now, your words will be like it's happening.
Yes.
So tell me
Yeah.
about that, because I find it very hard to understand it, be that way.
Of course. Yeah.
But it's definitely lingering around me. Go ahead.
For sure, man. So we'll start off with like a huge clarification. I'm not fully sane. Like I don't fully live in like this reality.
Yeah.
I live in like a different plane of existence.
Yep.
And my favorite stories have all been fictional. You know, I like anime, I like science fiction, I like fantasy.
Yeah.
And I believe that our own existence only has meaning if we attach meaning to it. So like we're just kind of hanging out, we're having a conversation, and this conversation has no meaning unless we tell ourselves that it does.
Right.
From there, we get to do whatever we want. We get to say whatever we want, and we get to attach whatever level of meaning we say to the words that we're stating currently. So if I say I want to be the greatest natural bodybuilder of all time, if I attach meaning to it, then I do everything in my power to make sure that that dream comes true, because that's my meaning. As opposed to if I just said it flippantly, oh, I want to be the greatest natural bodybuilder of all time, and then I don't do anything about it. Well, then there's no meaning.
Yeah.
And I've always been very passionate about the concept of self-fulfilling prophecies. If you say that you're the greatest of all time in anything, watch what happens as you continue to fulfill that promise that you made to yourself. To me, it's an exciting journey. It's like, okay, what are the pitfalls? What are the peaks and valleys of this experience of life once you've given yourself that kind of meaning? And the bigger the meaning, the bigger the experience of life, in my opinion.
So then tell me, as a person that believes in what you're saying, but questions it within themselves, because I guess what I've discovered, I believe a true superhero wears like Superman and other superheroes.
Yeah.
Even though it seems like he had to wear a different costume, like Clark Kent, and he couldn't be recognized, and a lot. And even though he could say it's me, he knew his good works had to be done undercover, right? These good works. So for me, when you say what you're saying, like I can believe, and I don't know if it's just words, and you can help me with that. I don't know if it's just saying let's say I'm going to have the greatest podcast in the world, right? And I believe it. I believe it. I'm working towards it. But there are times when life throws me some of the biggest curveballs that make me nearly pull me away from this.
Sure.
Because it says this doesn't monetize you well, or this is taking up too much of your time. Is this a hobby? Are you stroking your ego, Stephen? Is this, are you just playing? Like, come on. Can't you just be so serious like everyone else that's driving into an office block, walking into an elevator and sitting behind a desk? And I struggle because I believe, and everyone says, if you do what you want, you necessarily don't feel like you're working. And if you do what you want, you will be there in life and look back and be satisfied. But I just wonder, after trying so hard and hard and hard, well, myself maybe, am I just going to be a miserable bastard at the end of life? Because some people, again, I'll just add a little bit more to this. Some people live the Ken and Barbie life. Pink car, pink outfits. And people may look at that and say, God, they do a lot of pink. But they finish life just loving pink. And I think, do we complicate it? Is life more simple, or does simple win? That's what I'm trying to say. Like, I'm a little bit confused.
I actually do believe that simple wins.
Okay.
And they do say ignorance is bliss, and I think there is something to that. And then if you like get into spiritual practices, one that I'm studying right now is Zen Buddhism.
Go ahead.
And they're all about keeping it simple and wanting nothing. You're not supposed to want anything. Want is what creates suffering, right?
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
So if you like remove the desire to, pursue, and you just bring it back to like your own very existence. Again, I'm all about like living in the present and attaching your existence to meaning.
Right.
My life has meaning because I've attached it to my own purpose, and my own purpose is greatness, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But that doesn't exist outside of what I'm doing right now. The very conversation that we're having is related to this pursuit that I've given myself. Like, we wouldn't be having this conversation on this podcast if I didn't say I'm going to be the greatest of all time. And now every single experience from now until my deathbed is related to this purpose, to this meaning. So like, I can't lose. There is no failure. The only failure is to not be doing the thing that I have chosen to do, and like, kind of to your point about like, I as a storyteller, I want to dive deeper into the concept of a person not achieving their own version of greatness. Like, for instance, let's say you want to be the greatest, you want to have the greatest podcast of all time, right? And now you're stacking that metric up against all of the other successful podcasts. Joe Rogan, Joe Rogan, who's making like hundreds of millions of dollars as a podcast host. And it's like, okay, well, if you get to the end of your life and like you're on your deathbed and you didn't reach that level of success relative to Joe Rogan, it's like, well, did you get the greatest podcast of all time, or like, did you not? And then it's just like, I feel like at that moment, that would be your opportunity to kind of look back on your life and go like, man, that was dope.
Yeah.
It was dope. It was dope,
I think as you're talking as well, I mean, I think we're very much spiritual people, both of us, but definitely creators, probably very artistic in many ways. Probably we paint on a lot of blank canvases. And that's what I believe our life is a blank canvas, and we paint it. And but I think when you say you're going to be the greatest natural bodybuilder ever, or whatever, I believe you. But I do think to myself, what about all those people around you that are going to make a lot of noise? Because I can't imagine the feat you want to do being, I'm not going to say easy or hard. What I'm trying to say to you is the naysayers that are going to be attacking you. Like, you're going to get things fired at you to try to buckle you down, not because it's not possible. They think, who are you? Who are you to think you're the one? Right. Even though they don't think they're the one. And because they don't think they're the one, it's going to sound like a riddle, because they don't think they're the one, then you can't be the one either, right?
Yeah.
And I know when you mention Joe Rogan, when you mention everyone, there is a certain private pursuit you do, and only something like winning lotto, a lottery, for an example, can you become a millionaire in 1 second, or a multi-millionaire in 1 second. But if you look at Joe Rogan, or even if, like you mentioned, MJ, Michael Jordan, he had more misses than successes through the hoop.
Preach.
But the right ones, but the fact that he kept turning up.
And the moments.
And the private sessions.
Yes.
And the pain in the park crying, the stuff that people don't see.
Yes.
The rejection to fortify. What I'm trying to say is, I think that's what makes the greatest. But I like how I want to try to practice something you said, and I want you to answer what I've been talking so much about. But I have to practice I am a person that reciprocation is the thief of all. Reciprocation of life is the thief of all relationships. I've got a post up recently. We put it up.
I saw that. I saw that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm a firm believer of that. If you don't give, you are conditioning or being conditional or unconditional. Whatever it is, you need to just give. But I want to try to practice that in my life, because whatever I think I want, maybe that's why there's a few hurdles. Maybe I should allow life to tell me where I should be, and it could be minimal hurdles. Anyway, there's a lot there. What do you think if you unpack that?
Yeah, you've given me a lot. Well, just very similar to like what you're describing. It has only happened within like the past year where I have been able to kind of track or transition my mindset from taking over to like just emptying myself.
Wow, yeah.
And every day starts with like the same mentality. Like, thank God we made it this far. But the perspective now is gratitude.
Yeah.
Everything that comes to me was meant to come to me. And then from there, I'm always in a perspective of like, I just want to empty myself by the end of the day. And I have an abundance of energy. And it's like a battery. It's like I go through the day, I have the opportunity, I have the luxury to train. And no one can prevent me from training as intensely as I want. I have the luxury to choose what goes into my body so far as nutrition and food. And I can say no to other foods. Like, this is what I have the luxury and the privilege to do. Then so far as beyond that, how can I add value to everyone else's lives? No one is meant to add value to my life. Whatever value that they do add to me, oh my God, this is amazing.
It's a blessing.
It's like a cherry on top. But the true value is just like this existence of life. The fact that the sun is shining, the fact that I have oxygen to breathe, that is the true value of a daily basis. And then whatever another person provides me, it's like, whoa, I'm supposed to be your servant. I'm supposed to be doing for you, you know? And like I said, this is a very recent change within the past year.
So it's not thought, it's emotions.
Oh my God, don't even get me started on that. I was doing all thought up until, like I said, 2025.
I'm thinking up until today I've been all thought, but I have been emotional. I just haven't paid attention to it.
Yeah, no, I think humans are way more feeling and emotional based creatures than we are thought. And this honestly goes back into like sales psychology, which is something I'm only scratching the surface of. But we buy out of feeling. We don't buy out of thought. Like, we don't buy out of logic. I can logically say that natural bodybuilding makes more sense to promote than enhanced bodybuilding. Just like logically, if you think about like, okay, forget about the freak factor of enhanced bodybuilding and like these completely out of proportion physiques. The promotion of proper natural health and wellness and longevity seems to be a more viable thing to like talk about and put online and put on television than the enhanced side. But logically doesn't matter. How do we feel? When we see a Chris Bumstead or a Ronnie Coleman, what feeling does that elicit compared to a natural elite level bodybuilder? We feel more. We're feeling more. So like I, as a storyteller, I just have to figure out, okay, well, how do we trump that? What creates a stronger feeling? An enhanced physique or a storyline that suggests that the winner of the Natty King crown will be the next era of sports iconography. You know?
I never thought about it till I went over, and I'm going to play a few things, but I never thought about it till I sat and wrote your script and really went into it carefully. And also, after 2.5 years of doing this podcast, I can honestly say, and again, this could have backlash, it doesn't really matter, it's just my opinion. It doesn't matter what you put on top of anything, but if it's not built naturally, and we're talking about, we've lost the word natural. Natural is fundamental. It's fundamental, meaning you don't need anything other than physically going to a gym and lifting up weights.
Yes.
All right, but let's strip everything back. Sorry, let's go this way. Let's strip it all back. No gym, no diet, no cardio, just none of that. And let's just give everyone steroids. Is anyone going to grow? No.
Uh,
No. What I'm saying is, here you go. Here's a chemical. Here you go.
Mm-hmm.
Don't go to the gym. No progressive overload. Don't get off your couch. Eat what you like. Don't go for a walk. This steroid is going to give you muscle. It doesn't. It does not give you muscle. So in other words, it's like saying this. I'm not going to start this motor. I'm just going to put high octane fuel in it. It's a dumb, dud, dormant motor. But if I give it high octane fuel, it should start. But when you've got an amazing motor, amazing the block, the pistons, everything you've done right, then what do you add? Some amazing fuel to it. But you also want to know that that fuel isn't necessary. It's probably, it's a great motor, and maybe test it to its full limits without needing to add more to it. And I think this is what's happened, and maybe what you're trying to do, and no one's paying attention here, is what you're saying is, have we seen the greatest? Have we really seen the greatest, or meaning the greatest trainer, greatest person eating well, the discipline, without needing something artificial to see what the greatest human looks like?
We didn't have the opportunity.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
We weren't presented with the opportunity, because when steroids were first invented, they became normalized and integrated into bodybuilding and powerlifting immediately. Yeah. There was no like delay. Like, there wasn't even a questions of ethics as like, hey, if we actually start injecting these athletes who are literally pursuing the sport of bodybuilding, and this compound is intended to enhance their physiques and grow their muscle, is this ethically right? Or does this like dilute the actual intention of what bodybuilding was supposed to be? That question, I don't even know if it was asked, but if it was asked, we got the answer. And I just think it's such a huge shame. It's such a shame, because like to your point, I've only ever been curious about a person's natural limits.
Yeah.
Like we have enough examples of what happens when a person takes enhancements in the form of drugs, in the form of artificial intelligence, in the form of like augmentations, surgeries. Like we know what that looks like.
Okay, we've got it.
Yeah,
we've got it.
So let's bring this full circle. Like, everything's supposed to, like, there's like a cyclical nature to everything. And weirdly enough, it seems like this is like the dawn of the natural era. So far as bodybuilding is concerned.
I do believe that.
Yeah.
I do believe it's the dawn. And I also believe that, because we are fixated on it, and that's fine. That's fine. But don't you think that, let's say that everyone was natural. Everyone was natural. I think Chris Bumstead could still win it.
If everyone was natural, yeah.
What I'm trying to say is, you can't beat genetic freaks. Yeah. So in other words, I think everyone was natural. Ronnie Coleman would win.
Oh my God. Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say. Like, if it was
Ronnie Coleman, don't even get me started, man.
Yeah, but that's what I'm trying to say is, isn't it a shame the level of toxicity and risk of life
for what?
For being the greatest, when if we just stripped that fuel out and just said it was food, gym, conditioning, diet, mindset, timing, genetics.
Yeah.
It'd still be Ronnie.
Yeah, no, I completely 110. Yeah. It would be the same.
It'd still be the same grades, possibly.
Yeah. Possibly.
Yeah,
possibly.
But I'm just saying.
I think, yeah. I think some people, like Kevin Levrone, like, he was a hyper responder to steroids.
My God,
so
it was amazing. Yes.
Yeah. So if he didn't have access to steroids, I don't know if he would have ever made it to like a Mr. Olympia stage. Yeah. But you're 100% right. Ronnie Coleman, before he started taking steroids, to me, that was like the greatest natural bodybuilder of all time. And then he disqualified himself once he started taking steroids.
Yeah.
And thank God, because now I get to take the title, because I don't know if I would have been able to take it from him.
Wow, I love that. Well, okay, so you grew up in Mount Holly in New Jersey, a small town, right? Sell it to us. If you were the travel sales marketing guy, how would you sell us going there? Or can you?
Small town, very quiet, and the humans there are quite grounded. I'm not going to say they're the friendliest humans, but they have a very sarcastic, cynical way about themselves. So if you like dark humor and you like individuals who don't really try to raise anybody up beyond just their own, whatever you see is what you get, you know? And
that sounds like Australia. Does it sound like Australia, Chris? No, we have a tall poppy syndrome here. We love you when you're an underdog, but when you make it, oh my God, bullets are flying. That's how we are here. We love underdogs. That's why you probably like. So we're all right. Okay. And you were a happy, oblivious type kid, the baby of the family, and I didn't learn the value of effort at work until you reached 30. Was that about a week ago?
Pretty much, honestly. It's been a slow process.
Yeah.
But 4 years ago.
Okay, 4 years ago. There you go. Your early dreams and aspirations were to be an actor, filmmaker, storyteller, and writer. Okay. You know, Chris is a cinematographer, my business partner, Chris.
Nice.
Yeah, he's what else would you call yourself, Chris? Besides miserable? Bastard. No, are you a storyteller?
I guess I am content creator.
He's a content creator, storyteller, cinematographer. I think he loves looking through the lens, or even before he looks through the lens, he likes to see the outcome. It just takes 3 years before he films it.
That's hilarious.
So honestly, man, you guys, you create. I love it too. So yes, that's Chris. Okay, so yeah, acting, passion, film, writing. Hence why you're doing what you're doing.
Precisely. Yeah, I've always liked the idea of like I'm like a synesthesia kind of guy. I like to blur everything together. So if my passions are storytelling, acting, filmmaking, performing, and now you add bodybuilding into the mix, well, let's just do a story about the greatest natural bodybuilder of all time. Let's just do a story about that. Let's turn it into a movie. Let's turn it into an anime. Let's turn it into all of my favorite things rolled into one. All
right. Well, we've already got the start of your movie, because we can start by you saying this on a podcast.
100%.
Here it 100%. Is. Chris will have it all on film, so you just have to reach out to Chris and say, Chris, I need this, this, and this, and this for my movie.
That's exactly how we're doing it. I'm sure you've seen the or you've heard of the Arnold documentary on Netflix.
Yeah. Oh, I haven't. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, so I understand how like storytelling works. So I'm not concerned about the final product of a docuseries, a documentary, a docudrama, a feature-length film, because I know that as long as I tell the story and we actually crown the Natty King, then we get to take whatever, like this moment that we're having this conversation right now gets to pop up in a documentary 5 years from now.
Yeah.
And amazing. I understand how that works. So it's like, just tell the story. Just keep living the moment.
Well, I hope I'm at the premiere. I'm happy about that.
Absolutely. I would love to have you at the premiere. You and Chris.
Yeah. Oh, all right. Chris can come too. He comes usually looking like a Jedi Knight. He wears his hood on and doesn't smile through it, you know.
Okay.
Bit of a Jedi.
Like that character.
No. He'd come along.
Okay.
He's all right. You got to have your sidekick to pay out on. So you started caring about your physique when you were 12. And you did sit-ups, push-ups. You had a good six-pack. I mean, you seem like you're genetically gifted. You seem like you have a good physique. I mean, from what I see.
I do think it has something to do with the fact that I started training very early on. I'm definitely going to allude to it later, but I think the cells in my muscles activated earlier so that over the course of my life, they are quicker to respond than if I had waited into my early to late 20s. That's just something I believe. And obviously we'll find the science to back it up, but that's why I'm always going to be encouraging, start early. The minute that you have the desire to improve yourself, start improving yourself.
Do you think all right, he says here, originally what got you into bodybuilding. I learned of the natural bodybuilder circuit towards the end of 2023. I got really excited. While I was always enjoying working out, I always was incredibly dismissive of bodybuilding because I wasn't interested in taking steroids. Naturally, bodybuilding changed everything for me. It gave me opportunity to pursue physical perfection. So I guess I'm going to ask two questions here. Had you really discovered it earlier?
I'd already be the GOAT.
Okay. Hey guys, Nutrition Warehouse, your number one store for all your supplement needs. Visit in-store here in Australia or New Zealand, or go to nutritionwarehouse.com.au, or for our New Zealanders, go to nutritionwarehouse.co.nz, shop away, and at checkout, why not use discount code MTP15 to get 15% off all your orders. Hey guys, just want to thank one of our major sponsors, Alka-Power Water, as I cradle their 10-litre box here. alkapower.com.au. Go check them out. They're in your major retail stores, supermarkets, and please get yourself alkalined with Australia's number one alkaline water, Alka-Power. alkapower.com.au. Go check them out now. Hey guys, Steve here. Muscle Talks podcast. Just a quick shout out to one of our amazing sponsors, Macro Foods. You know how I feel about food. Food is very important to me. Macrofoods.com.au. Go check them out. And to get that little bit more off the price, use code MTP10 to get 10% off all your orders. So you are adamant, whether you were 20 or 30 now, 30 odd, you would have the same mindset about steroids.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
I don't think steroids are like, I don't want to talk badly about people who like glorify it or glamorize it, but I don't see any value in steroids. I see like zero. And again, like my background so far is like my favorite heroes and like characters are like superheroes. Like, they're fictional characters. And when you look at like a superhero like Spider-Man or Tony Stark or Batman, or like Goku, or freaking like anime, like you pick. They don't cheat. They do not cheat. Superheroes don't cheat. And if my favorite like role models are taking like the hard path and like going for like the best version of themselves without the use of enhancements, then why would I ever consider an enhancement in real life?
I'll tell you, because you might not know my story completely. So I've been natural all my life, up until the age of 49. And I never competed, but I love bodybuilding. That's why I have a podcast. But by accident, we started this podcast, just to let you know, it's an accident. I did not think of a podcast. I did not think of film, didn't think of anything. I didn't even know Chris. I knew Chris through the coffee game because I got a coffee company.
That's cool. I love coffee.
Yeah, but I loved turning up to significant moments the best I could be. And some of the significant moments, if I put them together for you, would be when I turned 21. I really trained for it. It was like the date was my birthday. It was a date to look my best. And that entailed waxing my whole body, dieting. And back in the 90s, I mean, everyone shaves now their bodies. No one did anything like that, but we didn't even shave. We waxed it because we didn't even think shaving was a good thing. I don't know. This is Australia, remember. So we waxed. The next significant moment was 24 going to Europe. So that was my competition. It was going to Europe for 12 weeks. So I trained into that to look amazing for an element of vanity, but an element of turning up, all right? They're my stages. I'll just let you know. Turning 30. No, I apologize. No, yes, turning 30 was turning up. Again, same thing, 12 weeks out, 16 weeks out. Turning 30, looking amazing. My wedding, looking amazing. This is the absolute truth. The birth of my first daughter, she can't even see me. She doesn't even really recognize me. But I felt I had to be this person in front of her at his optimum. No one thinks like that, but that was me natural, right? Then it was significant events. Obviously, I was in great nick. my daughter's christening. Then it was turning 40. It was amazing. So then when I got to 49 or 48, and I was turning 50 and 2 kids, unfortunately divorced and all that, I said to myself, I'm going to do a cycle. Now, I didn't even know, I'll be honest with you, this is weird. I did not know who Chris Cormier was, who's been on my podcast. I didn't even know who Ronnie Coleman was. I knew Dorian Yates. I knew Lee Priest. I knew Sean Ray. I knew Lee Haney. I knew Frank Zane. I knew Arnold Schwarzenegger, Franco Columbo. I didn't even really know, well, Milosh. But I knew these people coming through, but I never was fixated on the stage. I thought that was their area. My area was natural in the crowd. But so 49, I just called a guy that I thought knew about steroids, not even researched. And I said, hey, why did I know? Because I just knew his character. He had a supply. He was a distributor, and he had this. It was a certain culture. There's just a certain culture. These guys, they have their swagger of them. So I said to him, I want to do a cycle, and he said to me, why? And he tried to talk me out of it, meaning he wasn't pushing it on me. And I said, no, I want to do it. Just tell me what to do. I've got it on my phone. If I send you, it's down to the millimeter, like chambers, needle sizes, you name it. I was writing notes. And to try to cut a long story short, because it's not about me, this podcast, but it's an interesting one for everyone to sit and listen to. He goes to me, do you know how to inject? And I went, just fucking show me. So I pull my Dax down a bit and I have a look. He puts it in me. And it's true. You get a placebo effect already. Fuck it. You just believe it. Right? Oh, wow. Anyway, I took this stuff home. He told me, wrote all this stuff down, told me how to air it out, do all this stuff. And yeah, when I first got it, I was nervous. Even told me when you put it in, keep it there for 20 seconds so the oil gets in so it doesn't squirt out. All these little intricate things. And so I took it. I did it for X amount of weeks. Then I took a break. And I did it a second amount of weeks, but this time I got greedy and it backfired. It really backfired. But that is me turning 50. I'm 56. I haven't touched it since. I haven't even gone back to it. Because I realized this. Fuck me. It took me to take steroids to eat even better. It took steroids for me to do even better training. Like, I didn't know I had another level to me. And now, like you, not saying I wouldn't take something again, hear me out first. I've realized I have not exhausted natural myself. I have not, in no means, produced the best natural physique. I thought I had, but it took me believing I needed chemicals that thought I could go better. And then I realized, no. You were plateauing and you still hadn't achieved any greatness naturally yourself. So that's what I'm excited about. So at the moment, of course I'm 56, it's a little bit different, my decade, but I'm still believing my competition or my journey is to take on every 56-year-old, because I can't go back and take on people in their 20s, but I can take on every person today in my decade. And so I've realized, I don't need it. That's how much I've realized I just don't need it.
Absolutely.
Because everything has a cause and effect. Everything has a consequence. But I can't see hard work, good food, good hydration, good mindset, good habits without anything else going into my body, what God has given me naturally. If I can exhaust that, I can't see the adverse reactions.
Agreed, man. Agreed. And I also like to ask the question, and that was a really fantastic story. I'm very glad I got to hear that perspective. But I like to add, if an athlete is really just looking to get like the biggest physique and they think that steroids are the solution to getting that big physique, what does like a person really get from like being big, like physically big? Are you making the world a better place just by having a bigger physique, as opposed to really my idea of a peak human doesn't just finish at the physical level. And that's why I like to talk about, when it comes to me being the greatest of all time, it's about mind, body, and spirit. I will be peaking my physical body simultaneously while I'm also peaking my mental capacity and my spiritual ability. Like I am looking to be essentially a Superman. And a superhuman does not need enhancements. All they need is the focus, the perseverance, and the commitment to actually being the greatest of all time. Like it's not even a part, it's like an additional number to the equation. If you're trying to get 100, and like we're not even getting 100, we're like, people aren't even doing the work to get to 100. And then enhancements come into play. That's not part of the like it's not, you get what I'm saying?
No.
Yeah.
Do you remember recently they had the enhanced games? And we had one of our swimmers, I think his name was, I don't know what his name was, but one of our swimmers who was one of our greatest swimmers, he went enhanced. And did you know he swam slower?
I did not know that.
And do you know why?
Why?
He said on a podcast talking about it. Because what he needed to be in the water with, unfortunately the size didn't help. It disadvantaged him because he did get bigger, he did get stronger, but then he got heavier. Then maybe the water didn't seep through his body correctly. Like, so that nature didn't work with him.
Wow.
Before he was in tune with nature, like the waters, the wave of the pool, the buoyancy of the pool, the volume of the pool, the weight of the pool, and his body was like a torpedo in the water. Like whatever it was, like a fish would need to be a certain size to survive in the water, correct? So when he'd done all the unnatural things he could do to think to be better, he was slower.
That's incredible.
Is it a good story?
Yeah, and I'm so glad that
look it up. Look up the Aussie swimmer that went to the Enhanced Games.
I'm using that for fodder. I'm totally using that.
Yeah, he's
totally using that.
He slowed down. He didn't even break his record. Yeah,
that's perfect. That's perfect for my uses.
Well, you got to think about it too. I guess let's look at every sport. You need to be a certain weight and height. A jockey, a cyclist, a dome cyclist, the ones in the domes, sprinter. I mean, if you're proportioned out in some, I'm not saying they don't take something, these guys, or maybe they do or don't, but some of them don't. Like you could think that the greatest sprinter of all, what was his name?
Usain Bolt.
Yeah. I mean, he doesn't look very muscly, but that body is built for speed. Imagine if he did take enhancements, it could slow him down.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying is we've got to think about it that way too.
Yeah.
So there you go.
I love that. And kind of to your point, I've always been attached to aesthetics, right? Yeah, so
me too.
Like the whole like bodybuilder thing, Ronnie Coleman, what he did is super cool. Super cool.
Yeah.
But I would never, ever in a million years want his physique on my body. I'm able to admire Ronnie Coleman's physique. Great job, Ronnie Coleman. Yeah. I think what you did is super super amazing. But my favorite aesthetic physique that has like come and gone through like the history of the sport is Frank Zane's. Frank Zane and then maybe Shaun Ray, but Shaun Ray looks a bit too juiced out personally, and just my personal opinion. Yeah. Frank Zane has a physique that is like so streamlined, so aesthetic, so like proportional and symmetrical and detailed that when I say I'm going to be the greatest natural bodybuilder of all time, I'm looking to have a physique that is comparable to Frank Zane's. Yeah. You know, because it's like, to me, that's what cool is. And I never needed to take steroids in order to achieve a physique that looks like Frank Zane's. I don't need it. Maybe Frank Zane did, maybe, but I definitely don't. Yeah. I've got the genetics.
You do. Look, like I said, maybe they've not realized, because I think if it was a And it's not an even playing field. It's not. Because
but no sport is.
Yeah,
no sport is.
No, what I'm saying, it's not an even playing field bodybuilding. It's not, because he's on Anavar, he's on Deca, he's on this, he's on that. He's on this oil, he's on this, whatever. What I mean is, but imagine if you just stripped it back and it was just you.
Yeah.
Against Ronnie Coleman would win again. I can guarantee you'd probably still
100%. 100%.
If you stripped everyone back and just said, come back again.
Yeah.
There's Ronnie Coleman. C-Bum. Possibly, yeah, because that's
Lee Priest.
Oh, I've seen Lee Priest as well. Strip them back.
Yeah.
Mate, they're all going to be, again, they're still the winners. They're the winners still.
Yeah, genetic phenoms.
There, they are. So I'm going to play one of your pinned posts, and let's talk about it. And I was going to use a big word, but not now.
I like big words.
Trust me, I try to act very intelligent, but I kind of try to hold back a little bit.
Me too.
Let's find you first. There you are. Your first post is this. You ready to listen? Okay.
Okay, so this goes out to all the natural bodybuilders out there. You guys are my heroes, truly. When I first discovered the natural bodybuilding...
Also. Oh, hang on.
Tell you how excited I was to have found you guys. You are a very humble group. I don't know if you guys have ever heard the phrase, closed mouths don't get fed, and perhaps all of you are just satisfied with existing in the shadows. I have only known of this sport for 2 years. I do see you guys as my compatriots, my comrades, my brothers in arms. I truly do. So, I say all this to say, if I say your name in my content, please consider a compliment. I'm a storyteller, and I am using the world of natural bodybuilding to build a world that exists inside of an epic story. And I have to populate that story with characters that exist in reality, characters that you know and love, like Shizzy, like Swole Ricketts, like Oscar Mas.
So tell us about that pin post.
Okay, so that was in direct response. I don't know if you know Swole Ricketts.
I stopped there, not because I don't want to say their names, but you can mention as much as you like from this point.
Yeah. I'm incredibly comfortable. Swole Ricketts, he actually just got his pro card, his IFBB pro card last year at the Ben Wieters Naturals, which actually just finished up this past weekend. So literally 12 months ago, Swole Ricketts got his IFBB pro card. And he's a bodybuilder and a fitness influencer. He's got hundreds of thousands of followers on Instagram. And I am telling a story about crowning the next great sports icon to come out of bodybuilding and making sure that it's a natural athlete. So in order to properly populate that story and create characters, I drop names within the content. And maybe sometimes, like in that particular moment, I was talking to my training partner about Swole Ricketts and getting him involved. And I said something along the lines of I think he's too big for his britches in order to collaborate with us. And I posted that phone conversation, and then it got to Swole, and then Swole got upset about it. And I mean, it's intentional. I am looking to poke and prod and provoke, but it is my hope that people can see what it is that I'm doing. All right. So for instance, 2 years ago, when I first started this whole thing, and I was announcing that I'm the future greatest of all time and stuff like that, it ruffled a lot of feathers within the natural bodybuilding community, right? You fast forward 2 years later, and the same feathers that I was ruffling, they've gotten used to me. They've gotten to understand Shaun Fury is doing this for a purpose. His purpose is to promote the entire sport of natural bodybuilding as a whole. And he's using his name and likeness to put himself on the front line and show that there is it's worth garnering attention. It's like we're doing the same strategy as Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor, when he entered the UFC, it was this level of entertainment and story-driven narratives, right? Conor McGregor shows up and he's okay, I'm the greatest. I'm going to be the double champ. Shut your fucking mouth. He's doing all this stuff, and all of a sudden the ratings shoot way up. So that's how I strategize when it comes to how I promote myself and the sport simultaneously.
Yeah, well, yeah, it doesn't happen any other way. It doesn't. It's not going to.
I haven't seen it.
No, it won't happen any other way. It doesn't happen any other way. I mean, look, the Conor McGregor works, but also Khabib worked in his culture, his land, because he was coming out with. I mean, he was marketing. He had that Russian hat, constantly pointing to God first, me last. So his marketing and his conversation was as loud as McGregor's, but McGregor's was coming out of his mouth. So both of them created a spectacle and made sure that they stayed true to not just who they were, but what their mission was and where they were going. You can't, so like I said, it just depends. You have to, it's very hard. Like even what you're doing now, like I'm sure 2 years ago, not that you were completely comfortable with it, but I'm sure the feathers you ruffled shocked you, but now it's part of the game. And then you know that, if that's been said, I must be noticed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Well, if I were to express any kind of frustration, it's I'll use the word frustration because that's what I was feeling a week or so ago. Yeah. But I went to one of the bigger bodybuilding competitions of the year, WNBF World, which just took place yesterday.
Yeah.
And I saw the world champion get crowned. His name is Eddie Saldana. Yeah. So he is like the WNBF world champion, and he's 28.
Yeah.
And I spoke with him 4 months ago, looking to recruit him into this project, which is like the Natty King and 30 natural bodybuilders from around the world, right? And he spoke so humbly about himself, where he was saying that there's so many better athletes than him, and you know he's still small tier, and it's like I can't believe you're even thinking of considering me to be a part of this like huge epic story of crowning the next Natty King.
I love that.
And I'm like, yo, Eddie, like you got a great physique. I like you. You're humble. Like you should be on this thing. He's like, no. 4 months later, he's winning the world championship within his chosen federation.
Is he coming on now?
We'll circle back around to him. We have another 2 years to cast, so I'll probably be bringing him on in the final year and have it be like a big moment where like he'll be like one of the last 5 people that we recruit. Yeah. That's how I like to like structure storytelling. So like he says no the first year, then we circle back in the third year and go like, yo, Eddie, are you yada yada yada. But I say all that to say like, when I look at the current landscape of athletes within the sport of natural bodybuilding, I understand why it's been marginalized and why it's been in like the shadows, because the athletes themselves aren't looking to create waves. They're not looking to like, you know, be put up on a podium or a pedestal of like greatness and like, oh, superstardom. Like that specific natural bodybuilding circuit are not interested in those things. That will change now that the IFBB has like kind of planted their own flag and are looking to promote natural bodybuilding more. Because the type of athletes that IFBB attracts, they're already kind of in that mindset of like greatness, recognition, accolades, fame, success, monetary value. Whereas all the other federations, those athletes weren't accustomed to getting those things. So why would they be trained to think of pursuing it? Yeah. So we'll be seeing changes.
Yeah. Look, I was going to say to you, you're only as strong as your last pursuit. So in other words, you may have asked him 4 months ago and probably flattened you a little bit. Or no, not he flattened you, meaning like you'd like him to come on board. But the most important thing is not that he'll give you the answer you want. Remember what we spoke about. You just need to ask, because it's about you giving. I don't care if you say yes or no. I just care if I don't ask you.
I love that.
So remember that.
Yeah, that's a great perspective.
All right?
Great perspective.
Because for you, you're honoring him by me asking you, and I'm happy with the every answer you give me, because I'm not expecting you to come along. I'm just expecting to ask you. So just remember.
That's beautiful. I like that.
All right,
Thank you.
I had to do an SMS like that this morning. So don't ask. So second pin was congratulations to Shaun Fury for his successful competitive debut. It was the NPC West Coast Classic. You competed in men's physique there. How's that?
It was cool. I don't really like men's physique, but it was a cool experience. It got the ball rolling so far as my competitive career in this sport.
Yeah. How'd you go?
Yeah.
I think did you win that?
I got second. I got second against, it was an untested competition. So I was competing against enhanced athletes.
Okay.
And the guy that beat me had a better chest. And yeah, it was like, I don't really, my best moments in this sport are like in the future. So I don't really, like I said, it got the ball rolling.
It's the ball rolling.
Yeah.
It says to play your third pin. Yeah. This is your third pin.
Oh, this is the viral one.
No, this one's here.
Yeah.
Shaun Fury. I am. I follow you, man. This is my first time meeting a person to follow. Yeah. I follow you, man. That's amazing. That's great.
Someone recognized you.
Find me?
I think I saw you on like my Discover page on Instagram.
Very cool, man.
I saw you like live in like LA.
Yeah, that's so cool, man. Just started coming to Zoo Culture. This is Valley Muscle. Definitely follow this guy if you don't already.
Got you, bro.
Cause like, no.
So let me read the cap.
Yeah, so me and him, we're doing a documentary together, Rise of Natural Bodybuilding. So it's gonna be like a 3-year project, filming the whole thing. We're stepping on stage for the first time.
So this was in January. My question is, this is January 2024. How are we going with it?
Amazing, man. Amazing.
Because that's you, January 2024. I just want your enthusiasm, getting recognized. Here we are.
Oh, yeah.
Coming close to 2 years now. We're about a month away.
Yeah. So actually, perfectly, it's like, I think on Thanksgiving in 2023 Thanksgiving. So we're coming up on 2 years is when I first came up with the idea to take over basically the sport of bodybuilding and the fitness industry by way of the natural bodybuilding circuit. So we're coming up on 2 years when I first came up with the idea. Mm-hmm. How are we doing? Amazing. amazing. Just the fact that I have this project to like immerse myself in, and like, to me, it's like an ocean of potential and opportunity and excitement and energy. It's like I have like a limitless amount of access to stimulation just as a result of committing myself to this process. And I will have this for the rest of my life. If I were to track my trajectory similar to Arnold Schwarzenegger, where he first started out as a bodybuilder and then became a movie star and then became a politician, if I were to do something like that, then I will always have bodybuilding at the core of my principles, my values, my fundamentals, my ideologies are based in the pursuit of my own peak potential. And that started in bodybuilding.
Oh, I love that. God.
Yeah.
God, yeah.
And unlike Arnold, I'll be competing into my 40s, 50s, and 60s.
Oh, yeah. Oh, right. Yes. Well, one sec. Let me find. Next one is play post. Just thinking. 1 second. I've got to count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Is it 4 days ago? Have you posted anything recently? Just having a look.
I'm posting like daily.
No, I know you are.
Yeah.
It says here that, well, this is what the caption says on that post. If you're going to start a war, make sure it's for something you truly believe in. That Natty King is coming. Tell us a little bit about that post.
So as a storyteller, I am very strategic with how I would like this story to play out. It's kind of done in a sequence. I take some inspiration from the Marvel Cinematic Universe, right? So if we consider like the phase 1 of this storyline, the Natty King must be crowned. All right. So we are assembling a total of 30 natural bodybuilders.
Yeah. Tell us about the Natty King. Yes. Go ahead.
Absolutely. So we're assembling a total of 30 natural bodybuilders from around the world to compete for the title of the Natty King. And essentially what that title is the next great sports icon to come out of the sport. From there, we're looking for that to happen in July 2029. So we have 3 years to get the funding because we're looking for a $1 million cash prize. We want this to be a televised event.
How much cash prize?
$1 million cash prize.
Yeah, that's going to do it. Keep going.
Yeah, for the winner of the Natty King title.
Yep.
We want this to be televised. We want this as a docuseries, and we want this to be the biggest sporting event in the history of bodybuilding. Like, that's what we're aiming for. Yeah. After that happens, the next phase of the project and the story is the Natty King versus the Mr. Olympia. So we're going to take our sports icon to come out of natural bodybuilding circuit and put them up against in like a one-on-one head-to-head fight against whoever the enhanced side of the sports star is. It being Derek Lunsford, Samson Dowda, I don't care, Andrew Jacks, Hadi Chupon. So the Natty King versus the Mr. Olympia. And the way that I like to structure this, very similar to like the Revolutionary War. Yeah. So if we're thinking of like the founding fathers and George Washington being the general of the Revolutionary War, the Natty King and the person who wins that title is our George Washington. And we are leading a war against the enhanced side, or, you know, the British, like the redcoats. So the enhanced side of they're the status quo. They're the ones who are like pushing steroids, enhancements, and you're not good enough. You need to take some sort of augmentation in order to feel good about yourself. Body dysmorphia is real. Like, you're not good enough. Take steroids. And our George Washington character is going to wage war against that belief system and beat the Mr. Olympia of whoever that is in that year, and essentially usurp the current rule of the sport.
Wow. I love it. $1 million will do it though, mate. Honestly.
Agreed.
$1 million will do it. Let's just say that. You had a post on the 17th of November, and there you are posing in the posing room blindfolded. And the caption says, "Little by little, the mastery will be acquired. Distraction melts away." And then the next post says, one second. MJ got the ring in 7. I'll get it in 4. Go on.
I'll get the crown in 4.
Yeah, that's right. Thank you for fixing that for me. Yes.
Absolutely, of course. Yeah. So, all right. So 2 things. Firstly, I believe that the future of bodybuilding is centered around posing. And so far as like the Natty King project and story is like concerned, it's posing. So it's like physiques are great, but so far as like the themes that I like to introduce into this overarching storyline, feats are not genetic. So you don't have to rely on your genetics in order to achieve greatness. That is not a predetermining factor. And it is not about the chosen one. It's about the one who chose. So if feats are not genetic, and any person who comes into this world and they're born and they have consciousness and sentience, they can choose to be the person. They can choose to be the Natty King. From there, now it's all about greatness. Do you want to achieve your own, do you want to experience your own personal greatness or not? My hope is to empower people to pursue their own version of greatness, whether it be the Natty King or whatever respective endeavor that they've aligned with themselves. So if MJ wanted to be the greatest basketball player of all time and he got his first ring in 7 years, I'm planting my flag in the sand and saying that I'm going to be the greatest of all time within 4.
Wow, I love that. I love the way you put that together. All right, then the next one, another post you did and you got Arnold Schwarzenegger on the cover. Let's see.
So Arnold Schwarzenegger, right? He's really in my orbit these days. Obviously, I've been in LA for over 11 years. We had a brush past each other a couple weeks ago at Gold's Gym, and I met a good friend of his today. And I've just been thinking, and I'm starting to see this project, the Natty King franchise, as the spiritual successor to Pumping Iron. And if it is a spiritual successor, and I think of other spiritual successors or actual sequels, I think of Creed with Michael B. Jordan and Rocky Balboa, which is a direct sequel to the Rocky franchise. Yeah. So I've been thinking, dude.
So tell me more.
Okay, so I'm actually really excited about that thread. Again, as a storyteller, and if I haven't clarified yet, if I'm doing a thing, I'm looking to be the greatest of all time at the thing.
No, you said it clear. It's clear as rain, my friend.
Okay.
I need to hang around you a little bit more. So
come on, let's go.
I need to come to LA and just walk around with you, man, to be the greatest.
Let's hang out, man.
Yeah, I'm happy.
I'm down. Yeah, so it's like we got natural bodybuilding, greatest of all time. We've got storytelling. Not a lot of people are trying to be the greatest storyteller of all time. So like I don't even have that much competition, but I am looking at like prior storytellers. And the cool thing about stories, and if you want to be a really great storyteller, then you're just adding your story to pre-existing great stories. So Pumping Iron and the legacy of Arnold Schwarzenegger is already a great story. So we're just adding on top of that, and it becomes a sequel to the legacy that Pumping Iron and Arnold Schwarzenegger have already done. And I can do this for like ad libitum. Like it would be blasphemous to say that like there will be a future storyline that is a direct sequel to the Holy Bible, because the Bible in and of itself is not supposed to have a sequel. But personally, I don't really like, and this is just me, like,
Now keep going. I'll get Chris to put that up in one of our posts. We should be able to hit the million with the Bible being a sequel. We've got a sequel coming, Chris. But isn't Jesus resurrecting the sequel?
Yeah, but like I just don't like how it ends.
You think we could prematurely get it done?
Well, it's like the second coming, right?
Yeah, of course. Sorry.
Like that's supposed to be.
I'm
like
trying to be
sequel.
funny. I don't know if I'm.
I get it.
Just when you thought it was 1,000 years away, today it all happens. The sequel starring Denzel Washington as God and Shaun Fury as Jesus.
That joke has been made before, but honestly, they I mean, you laugh, but like they called MJ Black Jesus in basketball.
Oh, hey, listen, I'll say something to you. We live in a funny world. And this might sound a little bit harsh, what I'm going to say next. Only because it depends how he does it. But Jesus could easily stand up right now and say, I'm Jesus.
Right.
And it could be in some dusty village in Ethiopia, and we'll still persecute him.
I know.
That's what I'm saying is just when everyone in churches are on their hands and knees praying and can't wait for the coming, they're thinking he's going to roll up in a Bugatti or a private jet or somehow come through the clouds and land. But even then, we're such weak human beings that live in fear that we'll just want to destroy it. So,
I keep that in mind, man. I keep that in mind. It always goes back to like, I'm a firm believer in the power of myth. And I believe that if we tell a story that is rooted in that power of mythology, then we will be able to unite a greater amount of people that might be similar. I'm not talking about starting my own religion, but more so inserting a storyline that can be received and digested by the masses that is centered around human potential and unification. And I believe if we properly tell that story, it can transcend specific religious practices.
Of course.
And like, that is what I'm aiming to do, not only with the Natty King, but within like the longevity of my career within the sport of bodybuilding, within the industry of entertainment and filmmaking and storytelling, and within politics. I'm looking to tell a story that unites people across the border that is not just grounded in religious faith.
Well, it's quite a feat. And
go big or go home.
No. It's quite a feat. Go big. No. I'm trying. It's quite a feat. But it's going to take
collaboration.
I was going to say it's going to take a feeling. I think. I think it's going to take a feeling to get there.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It does.
It's a feeling that I think people can be won or brought to you by feelings, not by thought. Because if we went by thought, we'd all be, like I said, that gets in the way. So just quickly, so that was that post, and I don't want to take away what we just, like I said, I can see where you're going with this, especially there's never been a real, I mean, Rocky to bring Creed was amazing. For Arnold with Pumping Iron, I mean, there is room for that. And like you said,
it's a layup. To me, it's a layup.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
we just pop back a little bit and talk about that. You also did you flew to the Bahamas and you competed at a pro qualifier in the Caribbean Grand Prix. And was that also with men's physique, or did you go different class?
That was men's physique, and I got third in that class. Yeah. I didn't really like my physique for that show. Yeah, we were trying to get bigger, but also get conditioned simultaneously, which was not a good call. So instead, like I came in maybe 5 to 10 pounds heavier than my first show, but I was like sacrificing on conditioning. So just overall, it just didn't look like that great of a physique.
Okay.
Yeah. Learning process.
Yeah, of course. So some of the personal stories, which, I did mention at the beginning of your announcing you spoke about some significant moments. Basically you said the belief system is what has shaped your entire experience of life. I've always operated under the belief system that I'm special, talented, and capable of greatness. The greatness that has been achieved by others, I can achieve myself in my own pursuit. Break that down.
Okay. Wow. So if you think of like any kind of great feat that has been achieved by a human, they're of the same species as myself.
Yeah.
So like, I just make it that simple. If I see a person who has done like a really cool thing, I'm like, wow, that's a really cool thing. Wait a second, they're human. That means I can do it too.
Yeah.
And then it becomes a matter of like, well, what are my interests? So like, if we were to look at like the Wright brothers, which is like a really perfect example, no one thought that the Wright brothers would be able to make an aircraft and have it soar through the air. Like they thought that they were crazy, insane. Yeah. Meanwhile, you've got like a different set of people who are like working on like the same invention somewhere else in the country, and they've got funding. They've got all this financial backing to do this, and the Wright brothers do it first with like way less financial backing. So if my interest isn't in airplanes, but I do understand that they had the belief first and then the vision to actualize it, then it becomes a matter of like, well, what do I believe in? What actually makes me excited? Storytelling. What's the story that's so astronomically out of proportion that like only I could really attach a high level of belief system to? World peace. If I were to say, I believe that we can achieve world peace in this lifetime, that's the crazy thought that is equivalent to the Wright brothers saying that we're going to achieve air travel. And now I've given myself my entire life to make sure that comes true. And then it becomes a matter of like, well, the belief was so drastically crazy to begin with. Whether I succeed or fail, there's no stakes because I wasn't supposed to succeed in the first place. You know what I mean? It would be like the Wright brothers saying, oh, we're going to make an aircraft. And then it's like, yeah, well, you can't make, like, that's not possible. And then they spend their entire life trying to make it happen, and then they don't succeed. Was their life a waste, or did they actually get any kind of value out of it? And like, that's really like the question I like to play with. We don't really tell stories about the people that fail. To me, I think they're just as interesting as the ones who succeed.
Yeah, I agree. I don't have anything to add to that. That's perfect. This was earlier came into my thoughts before I say the next thing. I look at boxing. Boxing's interesting. Fighting's interesting because they're going into the ring. They're going into the ring with an opponent that's saying the same thing as them. I'm going to take his belt.
Yes.
I'm number one.
Yes.
Wait a minute. You're number one? Hang on. You're number one? Who's number one here? And I remember speaking to my psychologist once upon a time, way back, saying, how do these boxers have this mindset that it's a 50-50 pursuit, but they've got it. Like they've already won. They've already got what you're saying. I've won. I'm there. I'm holding the belt. I said, how do they hold on to that? And she said to me as well, it's also a team of people around them that behind closed doors, if it slips, they bring them back to it. So you do need people. That's one. And I do know the funniest thing is when they lose, they always say, they're never really that sore losers. They say he came more prepared. He was better than me. So they don't put themselves down. They don't say, I was a shit fighter. They just say he came more prepared, which is amazing, the mindset of a boxer. Yeah. But the last thing that really surprises me about a boxer is when you see the winner and he's at the press conference or he's receiving his belt, he predominantly looks like the loser because he's beaten up.
That's deep.
So think about it. The winner is bleeding. Yeah. The winner is bruised. The winner has got a black eye. Mm-hmm. And he's the winner. Mm-hmm. He looks no different to the loser, but he's the winner. So you just can't win without battle scars. You just can't win without a bit of getting bashed. Because if you think you're going to turn up not dusty, then you really didn't come to fight. I'll leave
Amen.
it.
Amen. Amen. Yeah, no.
Chris, get these down, Chris. Write them down.
I really like to think about, so you know how there's only 60 spots every year on the NBA. Like if you want to be like an NBA basketball player, there's only 60 positions every single year, right? Yeah. And you've got thousands and thousands of athletes who are vying for one of those 60 spots, right? Yeah. I always think about like, okay, let's say I'm a 12-year-old and I've told myself I'm going to be the greatest basketball player of all time. Mm-hmm. And we've got the metrics. We've got the Michael Jordans. We've got the Kobe Bryants. We've got the LeBron James. And I'm 12. Yeah. And maybe by the time I'm like 19 and the growth spurt hasn't happened yet and I'm still walking around at 5'11", it's like, okay, well, all of these great basketball players are walking around at like 6'5", 6'7", and taller. When does my growth spurt kick in? How am I going to be the greatest of all time if my growth spurt isn't kicking in? It just becomes a matter of like, okay, what's your story? What is your story? If you're truly committed to being the greatest basketball player of all time and you don't let that go for like the entirety of your life, the result is the story that happens by the time that you get to your deathbed. Yeah. That's your story, you know? Yeah. And if you stay committed, then you'll have a story. And maybe some person, maybe your son will say it. Maybe your son will say, no, my dad was the greatest basketball player of all time. It might not be the entire world, but like you'll still have your story.
Mate, that is true. That is a lot if your son ever says that. So let me tell you, one person's a lot. That's a lot. If one person can say it, and it's your son, I guess, but one person. So some things that experience has shaped your life was two moments. One, when you were 12 and you were picked on as a kid, unfortunately, and you were called ugly with a big head. And one night you asked your dad thoughts on if I was ugly, and he said if he was as good looking as you, he'd be the president of the United States. The fact that he was the former mayor of his hometown in New Jersey made the statement even more valid.
Mm-hmm. I also like how you did that in the intro, where I had never really connected those two dots of being called ugly and being called beautiful in the same day. Like I never really thought about that. Yeah. And I was actually talking to my roommate about that story a couple of days ago, and he gave me the perspective that my father offered me a perception of reality that I preferred. And so I just stuck with it. Yeah. Now, if I had low self-confidence, or if I just didn't have like a high idea of my own self-worth, then when the bully said that I'm ugly, I just would have stuck with that. And my dad could have said, oh, if I was as beautiful as you, then I'd be the president of the United States. But if I didn't believe that, if I didn't feel that level of self-esteem, I would have that night would have ended, and I would have nah, that guy said I was ugly. That bully said I was ugly. And then I would have just moved through the world thinking I was ugly. But I made a choice. I got presented with two different truths. Yeah. And I preferred the truth where I was beautiful and future president of the United States, because that reality sounded more fun. I was like, oh yeah, that sounds like I would rather walk around thinking that I'm like a future president than an ugly nobody, if I had to pick between the two.
But it also goes to show the intelligence of your dad, because he chose a phrase that would have more impact than turning to you and saying, oh, you're a good-looking chap. Mm-hmm. So, you know.
Well, I mean, in direct response to my father, And I'll just say it, like, all of my ambition, all of my ego, all of my drive and motivation is a result of my father's presence in my life.
Wow.
He was an incredibly egotistical individual. Yeah. Yes, he was the mayor of his hometown, and he never let me forget it. Yes, he married the most beautiful woman and had her be my mother, and he never let me forget it. And yes, he was always like the alpha, big swinging dick in all of the communities and, you know, fraternities that he became a part of. And he would talk so much. When Barack Obama was president and he became the first Black president, he would say that he was a better speaker than Barack Obama. That's what he would say. Okay. And here I am at like age 17. I'm just thinking, I can't wait to get to adulthood and prove you wrong in all the ways that you say that you're so great. Because if you're so great, why doesn't the entire world know you? If you're so great, why aren't you the one winning? Why aren't you president? Why aren't you a Nobel Peace Prize winner? Like, why aren't you all these things? Instead, you're only a mayor. You're only a lawyer of this small town, you know? And it's, you know, I like the adventure that he set me on. If you ask my roommate, it's like I'm being governed, like all of my actions and decisions are being governed off of like a direct response to how I felt about my father. But I'm not mad about that because I really enjoy this journey of the pursuit of greatness. I have a lot of fun, you know? So thank you, Dad, for talking so much shit.
Well, but he achieved it because he believes
did.
it. No, because he believes it. And when we talk about dads, my dad had a lot of vanity. Like he thought he was the best looking man in the world. But he'd think you're the best looking man in the world too. That was the funniest thing. He'd say, if you rocked up, he'd go, "Oh, I really like your shoes. Those are really good shoes." Or, "I like your belt." Or, "I like your shirt." "Oh, I like how you've cut your hair." Or he might say, hey, everything you're wearing is great. You need a good haircut though. You got to go get a haircut, right? And he took up lawn bowls as an old Greek guy that they don't do lawn bowls. And he thought he was the greatest lawn bowler in the world because they gave him balls. They gave him balls and they were taking him to tournaments. And I come home, he goes, "Yeah, I'm the greatest. I'm the greatest. I'm the greatest. I'm the greatest." And he was also a compulsive fucking liar. But he was happy and I wasn't. And that's the difference. Meaning, when I say I wasn't happy, he wasn't as hard on himself as I am hard on myself. So I look at him and I think, good on you for getting away with it and good on you for believing he's passed away, that you thought you had the greatest life. Being a guy with a white picket fence, doing a barbecue every Sunday and working for the council, mowing lawns. But you thought you were the greatest. And that's all that matters. So,
that's beautiful.
Yeah. So like I said to you, why would I want to, I'm really competing against that for myself. So that's how I kind of think about it. If I'm competing, I am not competing against Elon Musk. I'm competing against Elon Musk and the guy mowing the lawns that thinks he's the greatest. They're my competition, both of them. Because what matters in the end, are you happy with your journey? And the guy that mowed the lawns was. And fucking hell, I've got to work out what that guy has for me to have. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Yes.
That's why I said at the beginning, Dad and Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
So like,
yeah, of course you did. Yeah, that's right.
I'm a fan of Arnold's career. I think what Arnold did with his career is super cool. Yeah. And I aim to emulate it within my own career. But I'm also directly responding to my dad's perception of himself.
Yeah, it's a good one.
And he later on told me in my adult life within like the past couple of years is that he would talk all that stuff, like the big game, like how great he is, in order to hype himself up to go out into work.
I do it.
And
sometimes I have to.
And I get it. And the thing is that what it did for me is it really did solidify this perception of like, I'm not hyping myself up when I'm saying I'm the greatest of all time. It's just, it's a solidified belief system in myself that like I was born to do great things. And very similar to your dad, it's my hope that anyone that I'm talking to feels the same way about themselves. Because then it's like, it's not an affront. I'm not trying to be an affront to you. I'm looking to empower every single person around me to achieve greatness.
Yeah, no, I can sense that. I can feel that. So that is. Look, you just keep saying it because personally, I don't want to hear anything. I don't want to hear anything else from you. That's your word. So you just got to.
Amen.
I don't want to hear anything else from you. So just be you, because you've not just convinced me. It's more like I only know that vocabulary from you. So just go with it, because I've heard everyone else's. Everyone's got their own talk. You have yours. It's not any heavier or any better or any worse than anybody else's, but that's comforting for me when I need that, to hear that from you. Does that make sense? So
I'm getting goosebumps, man. Like, no one's ever said this before, but like, I feel like this was like the true core of like us connecting this moment.
There you go. Yes, of course. Well, of course. Yeah. You reached out saying some great things about my show or what I'm doing. And I thought, wow, you should come on. I'm a sucker to praise, but,
me too.
I'm a sucker to praise. The second part of the story that helped you, shaped you obviously a little bit, was your 12th birthday party and no one showed up.
Mm-hmm.
That's fucked. Tell us a bit about that one, man. That one's a hard one.
You could point that to like my origin story for like if I was a bad guy, if I was like a true villain, then that would be like the beginning of like my villainy. But like I was new to the school, and I was there for like the fourth quarter of fifth grade. Then we adjourned for summer, and then we come back, and my birthday is like the first week of the new year, of the new school year. Yeah. So like I hand out all of my birthday cards, and some of them even handed it back to me right there, which was like, at least that was honest, or like straightforward or transparent. But anyway, Saturday comes and goes, and I'm just sitting there at whatever table I'm at my place with like, you got the chips and the ice cream and the cake and the soda, and just no one's there. No one's there. And for me, and it's taken me from age 12 all the way up to, I don't know, I'm still recovering. If I'm just being honest, but I developed this perception that people aren't really there for me. They're there for what I have to offer them. So from age 12 onward, it just became a matter of what value can I add to you and what can I get back from you? So like I would develop transactional friendships. Like, I'm a friend with you because I'm like the token black guy, and everyone needs a token black guy in the friend group. And what you guys can provide me is access to the girls that you hang out with, because I like girls. So it's like, okay, now there's a transaction. I'm the token black guy, and I'm hanging out around the girls that I want to get closer to. Then you fast forward, now we're making movies, and I want to be a filmmaker, because I'm thinking if I'm a movie star, I'll be able to get more girls. So these guys, you've got a camera, you've got writing chops, you've got acting chops. Okay, let's form a film group, and now we're making movies, and boom, voila, I'm getting more attention from the girls that I was always looking to get attention from, all thanks to you guys. So it just became very transactional. And then by the time I get to LA, that's what my perception of life was. I had a lot of difficulty until recently in developing meaningful, genuine connections with people outside of romantic relationships, because I was just waiting for the other shoe to drop.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. It's a funny one. I mean, how we get shaped. I'll tell you a funny story I recently. I haven't shared. Look, I also find very hard. I don't know about you, but I like how you voice you're going to be the greatest. I love that. I can't say that. Why? I'm afraid that it puts pressure on me, and would it make me seem like a charlatan? Hear me out. So behind the scenes, I try to tell myself I'm the greatest, but I'm afraid to talk. And when I talk, all through my life, I feel like it backfires. So I come across very private. Like, you might know a lot about me, but you don't know a lot about me. Like, Chris knows probably a lot about me, but I don't share everything about me, meaning. So what I was trying to say is, how does someone, maybe you can teach me something. How can someone feel free to talk and believe it, but also know nothing's guaranteed, but just stick to the guarantee?
Yeah. So I'll say two things. Firstly, I'm not even fully comfortable with advising a person to verbally say that they are the greatest or are going to become the greatest, because it is not well received.
Right.
People don't like roll out the red carpet once you announce, like, hey, I'm the greatest of all time and y'all should respect it. Even though I'm not even asking for respect, I just say I'm the greatest of all time. People respond to that negatively. They think that you're arrogant, like we said at the very beginning of this conversation. And if you have a supreme level of self-confidence in yourself, then it's like, well, what the fuck do you need me for? So it's like, now the perception is like, this guy's full of himself. I hope this guy fails. And I hope this guy gets put in his place. And his place is not at the top. Yeah. People don't want to see you at the top if you think you deserve to be at the top.
Or they want to remind you along the way what you said.
Yeah, stuff like that.
I think that's what scares me.
That's fine.
Yeah.
So I will say that I've been in character, greatest of all time, greatest natural bodybuilder of all time. I've been in character for 2 years.
Okay.
Every day it gets easier. Okay, it gets easier every single day. If this was 2 years ago, I would be aware of the character. I would have an awareness of like, this is a mask. I'm putting it on. I'm playing bigger than I actually feel in order to get across like, oh, I'm the future of this sport. I'm the future of bodybuilding. I don't feel that anymore because I've been doing this for 2 years. So if I were to like say, like, if you're looking to verbally state that you are the greatest of whatever, just get comfortable and don't be afraid of the failure, because the failure is inevitable. You're going to fail. That's the whole purpose. You're supposed to fail over and over and over and over again. You don't succeed until you're dead. Honestly, honestly, I'm just being honest. There is no success story for you. It's
what they say about you.
Yeah. And we don't care about that. We don't care about what they say about, like, you're just living your life.
I hope Chris says good things about me.
But like, do you know what I'm saying? It's like, if you've made the decision, yeah, that's fair. But like, if you've made the decision that you are the greatest of all time, and like you feel it in your bones, maybe you don't feel it in your bones when you first say it, but like you just have this feeling like, that's where I'm going. That's my trajectory. You attach yourself to that trajectory, and you're now on a rocket ship to the moon. And you're just looking at the scenery, and you're just commenting. You're making observations. Oh, we're in this level of the atmosphere right now, and the view from up here is pretty nice. It's really cool. We're moving further and further and further ahead, and it's like, I'm having a great time. It's a perspective.
Look, it is. You know what's ringing around in my head? Can I share a funny story with you?
Please.
You can hear this one too, Chris. This is a funny story, Chris. I was going through my phone. I was just looking for some photos, and I was looking back in the early 2000s. Not 2000s, early 2020. And that was when I like motorcycles. But I also like chicks riding motorcycles. Don't ask me why. It's like a fetish of mine, right? I like it, right? But I was looking at shots of Harley Davidson sports bike, and there's just admiring a beautiful girl on it. And then I'd have another one with a car shot and a beautiful girl in it. And then I'd have beautiful girls in beautiful clothing. But what I realized, Chris, is what's funny. As I did a lot of screenshots. Don't ask me. I think through Instagram. Oh, that's cool. And I wasn't trying to do visualization. I wasn't trying to do anything. But the funniest thing is, my girlfriend at the moment is the most amazing blonde bombshell you'll ever get. And I was telling her, hey, I think I manifested you.
I love that. I love that.
But I wasn't even manifesting. That's what I'm trying to say is, and it wasn't so much that blondes were my thing, but it just seemed to be this character. And when I looked at the photos, I went, hang on, looks like my girlfriend as I'm flicking through. I go, and this is 4 years ago. And I was saying, wow, and I remember one time, I won't tell you where I was, she knows, I said, fuck, I'm 56. I said, fuck these older girls. Sorry to say to any older girls out there right now. Let's hope that doesn't ruin all our followers, Chris, and a subscription. But I think it might have. But I just said, you know what? I just want someone a little bit younger. But I just was jokingly fucking thinking, bullshit, Steve. Like, what the? And yeah, it happens to be. And I didn't pay attention to it. I didn't pursue it. But it kind of like the world works in funny ways. So I guess we just got to keep screenshotting what we want without knowing where we're going. Like maybe we're screenshotting at the moment the greatest podcast of all. Maybe, that's all I'm saying to you is we don't know where we're going. We are here now. We've got an idea. And maybe I'm picturing what's next. And other people like the Joe Rogans, I'm screenshotting them and I'm screenshotting this and I'm screenshotting that. But life is a bit like that. Does that make sense? You don't know what you're manifesting, but as long as it is an interest that intrigues you and hear me out, and intrigues me without lust. It wasn't lust that I was doing it. I was very secure with myself. I don't need to look at porn. I'm trying to say to you, I don't need to. None of them were topless. None of them had their clothes off. It had to be complete for it to be beautiful. Does that make sense? It wasn't.
It does. It
wasn't a picture of a half-naked body. It could be a great outfit that had great shoes, but it just happened to be that she was blonde. I don't know why. We just kept going. And I said, oh, wow. I said, I think I manifested you. And she laughed. She laughed, but, she laughed. But
I love it.
Yeah. So it's, I thought I'd share that story. I don't know if it has any significance with a 12-year-old that didn't have anyone come to his birthday party.
I'm sure it's there. Everything's connected.
Everything is connected. But so you only, and I think there's one more video I'll play, and then I'll finish off with your goals, and then we'll go over the body. We'll probably got another 15 more minutes. And what I'll do is I want to play something where it was part of the intro that you, what I'm just seeing it. 1 second, let's go. No, not that. Let me just quickly pin, here we go. Posing, not that. Natty King, God, see how raw we run this podcast there?
I love it.
Yeah, nah, mate, we're not. If we ran it smoothly, I don't think it'd work.
Agreed.
It would never work. Starting walls, play third pin, maybe the cap. What's the third one? There's a bit where you're sitting. Oh, yeah, I know where it is now. I know. I'll find it. Here we go.
My entire life, this is my biggest weakness. My entire life, I've been avoidant of hard work. In my entire life. Until he met me. It hurts to say it out loud because it's so goddamn true. Until he met me. I'll put it to you like this. All right, so I wrestled. Got into wrestling in 6th grade, and then I did it 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, 9th grade. So then I got to freshman year, and I'm wrestling in high school for the first time, right? And I had potential to be great because I'm naturally strong. This is only 2 years of bodybuilding, right? So I'm naturally strong, and it was like a 50-50. Either I pinned the kid in the first minute of the match, or I lost because I get gassed out, my endurance. So I have a gas tank, right? So I knew that at the end of freshman year season, it's like if I want to be great at wrestling, I have to build on my stamina. I have to build on my endurance. I don't want to do that. Let me get into acting. But then I started acting.
4 years of wrestling because you didn't want to build your endurance?
I didn't want to run. And then I got into acting.
I'm going to get it because I said I'm going to get it.
Yeah.
But I'm not putting any really real effort towards it.
Yeah.
The elbow
and I got literally no results. I've been in LA for 10 years and movement didn't occur until I started putting in effort.
So tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, so if there's anything I've been coming to terms with in the past, honestly, week, it's this whole, I grew up on movies. I grew up on movies and television shows. I truly did. Yeah. And when I look at movies and I look at really great moments that were kind of condensed into a 90-minute format, I always I never was able to connect with the concept that this product that you're seeing on screen took years and years and years of effort, whether it be the producers and the directors and the screenwriters and the actors. They all had to put in their own dues in order to get to this moment in time where they got to collaborate in this way. And if they're doing a story about like a person based on real events, the individual that they're highlighting in this film had to put in years and years and years of effort in order to tell this story that you're seeing condensed in the format of 90 minutes to an hour and 45 minutes. And I'm only just now realizing that is the true value of effort. It is the final product that looks like it happened like that. But what's behind that brief moment in time where you get to consume a product that is like truly valuable and feels sublime, like a true piece of art, is that it took years, if not decades, to actually refine and turn into a masterful work of art or anything.
Well, yeah, I've always said where you are today is what you had planned in the past. Meaning, if you are successful at something or you're lucrative with money and wealth, you must have been broke at a certain point. We're not talking about given to you. We're not talking about winning lotteries. You must have built disciplines that took away something. Maybe you didn't go out. You didn't go out for dinner. Maybe you became a bit frugal with your money. You weren't so flamboyant. But that got you to here. And if you've lost it all, it's what you did in the past as well. So we're here only how we planned. And that frustrates me. You're young, but at 56, it really fucks with your brain because the plan I had was taken away, but it was predominantly taken away because I felt trapped to others. You always fall trapped to others. You know, you never sell out on yourself. Do you know that? You never sell out on yourself. I hope people are listening. And I'll explain to you. If you become a drug addict, predominantly you hung around with people that persuaded you in, and you became it, and you became a good drug addict. Yeah? And you may have persuaded others. What I mean by that is some of the choices I've made, which don't involve drugs, was where I was good with money, I only became bad with money because I put my trust in others that had no fucking idea with money. Also career choices. I made career choices because people told me that I should pursue that type of career. But that was because they were brain dead, boring souls that should go and do a brain dead, boring job. But I believed they seemed not just about happy. I believed they had my best interests. But even the closest person to you doesn't necessarily have the best interest for you. So like my son at the moment and my daughter, my daughter's a performing artist too. She's a triple threat. She's a triple threat, singer, dancer, actress, right?
I love that.
And she just finished at one of the major theatre companies, meaning studying to be and do something. And she works casual at a supermarket. And I said to her, yeah, you fucking stick to that because you follow your dream. I don't want to see you in an office. I don't want you to think that it's 9 to 5, and I don't give a fuck if you don't have money. Just have the dream. And my son is a fighter at the moment. Finished school, he's 19. And I said, hey, I don't care that you don't know what – this is both my kids. She knows what you're doing. I said, I don't care you don't know what you're doing. I don't care. What I care about is are you getting up for something and are you learning something? So he does Muay Thai morning and night, and he's doing his third fight. And he's an assassin.
I love it.
And he doesn't want me to come to his fights. No one's allowed to come to his fights. He has to, and I understand that. This is personal. It's not – I bless him from far. I'm in the crowd in my home. I'm his number one fan flying that. So it doesn't bother me. I don't have to be there. He has to be there. He has to fight, not me. But that's what I'm saying is we could take – what do I know what he needs? What do I really know other than just wingmanning him, saying, at least I need you to be learning something. I need you to be sharpening your belt, sharpening your tool belt, your sword, lifting your shirt. I don't know what that looks like, but can it be something other than me knowing you're sleeping in, you're in front of your screen playing whatever, Call of Duty. I'll be clear, I'm not going to be happy about that. But you not working and learning a martial arts, I'll be happy with that. I'll be happy with that if that's what you choose. And Because I can't tell him, nothing's guaranteed, but what I do know is I could actually take something away from him, and I don't want to do that, or her, by saying, what are you earning every week? And it's kind of like, yeah, it's more like, you're trying to make it, I'm trying to make it, let's make it. That's about
Amen.
it.
Amen.
Yeah.
I always think about like I was homeless for the first 4 months that I was in LA. That was 11 years ago.
Wow.
Like, so I got to LA and I didn't have a place to stay. And from the perspective of like parents, their goal is to make sure that their kids are okay and that they are successful and they are financially stable and all that stuff. And from my perspective, I don't see the value if it doesn't make you excited about your life. So I would choose being homeless and embarking on a great adventure that we don't know how it turns out over stability. To me, stability that is rooted in boring, mundane, and unstimulating is not a life that I would ever promote to my child or any other person. Just that simple.
Yeah, no.
And I think like the majority of like, I feel like society is engineered to encourage that lifestyle. And I think the majority of people are subscribing to it. And, you know, it's like to each his own, but I'm going to do everything in my power to disrupt that perspective.
Yeah. Yeah, look. And I think the moral of the story is, if you want to learn about relationships, talk to someone that seems to have succeeded in it for decades, with someone, and sometimes your own parents is that, and sometimes your own parents is not that. And it could be either coming down to finance, coming down to building something like what you're building. I'm not saying your dad wouldn't be able to help you in that area, but there are people more qualified who have done it themselves, that have built something that you're building, that you probably need to talk to and really seek advice. So yeah, like I say, sometimes the people we think we seek advice from aren't really qualified, and they're the ones we love. But just be careful, because, you know, they might not be. They like, think about it. I could say to Yanni, oh my God, don't go fight Yanni. You're going to hurt that pretty little face of yours. And his name's Yanni. And I'm scared for you. I mean, who the fuck am I? I'm the one that's scared. I'm the one that doesn't want to hurt my little pretty face. So we just got to realize, you know, what he needs. What he needs is, the only bit that I'm experienced at is words of motivation and go win.
Right. Yeah. No.
Go
100%.
win. You know,
everyone that I left on the East Coast, where I'm originally from, they never, for one, had a dream big enough that they were like willing to die for it. None of them had a dream big enough. And if they had any kind of dream, they never put themselves in an uncomfortable position to pursue it. So like they chose the other path, where it's like, oh, I would have liked to be a jazz musician, or I would have liked to be a stand-up comedian, or I would have liked to be a published author. Like, these are dreams that I've had my family members express. What are you willing to do in order to have that happen? Are you willing to wait 10 years and be discomfort? Like, are you willing for people to think that you're not good enough? Are you willing for people to think that you're a failure for the entire 10 years that you're pursuing this until it actually happens? If you're not, then stay over there and get your regular day job and judge me for saying, oh, I'm very comfortable with being judged for like the next 10 years. Bring it on, please. Because like, it doesn't affect my sleep whatsoever.
Nah, of course it shouldn't. Are you going to compete again? Are you going to do any competitions?
Oh yeah.
What are you going to do? What's your latest?
Right now I'm not urgently pursuing a stage physique. I'm more interested in growing, just because men's physique didn't really stimulate me in the way that it does for other athletes. So the next time I step on stage, it will be either in classic or open bodybuilding. in which case I have to further develop my legs and bring them up into proportion with like my upper body, since I didn't know that I was going to be a competitive bodybuilder in my 20s or early teens. So I kind of skipped leg day. So to answer your question, it looks like the next time I compete will be in 2026. And the best case scenario and the likely scenario is that when I'm ready to compete, I'm just going to be hopping around. I'm going to be like doing all kinds of different federations, because the Natty King competes wherever he wants to compete. So if I want to do OCB today, then I'll do OCB today. Then I'll do WMBF next, and then I'll do NPC. I'll compete wherever I want, because I'm already solidified as the future greatest of all time. So like now I'm kind of sharing the spotlight with my contemporaries every time I step on stage.
I love that. I was just thinking to myself, don't take out of the equation of talking to someone that was not me, when I talk about me, but maybe seek a great bodybuilder that's actually natural now, but was heavily geared, but hasn't touched them for 10 years, but seemingly why. That would be a good story.
Yeah.
To know, and maybe they still look amazing. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Maybe they went and competed again. I know many people that have competed as a masters natural, but they weren't when they're young. So they're good stories too.
Feel free to send them my way. Like
I think there's a Mike Deadman in Australia who I saw him do his last comp, and he looked. I said he was IFBB. I said, "Oh, good. Mike looks amazing." And then when I had him on the podcast, he told me that was done naturally, and I thought, "Wow!" And that guy did a career from 18 to the age of 40, and then he in 50. Or late 40s, he decided to give it one big crack, and a true crack. Even went to the nationals, but it was all natty. I believe it was natty. But let me investigate that for you,
for sure,
because I think it's a good story to know. There's another guy. Remember this name, Mike Morris. Remember Mike Morris?
Okay.
Mike Morris had to stop competing because he really damaged his liver, really to a point where he got himself back by very, very slight, close to very probably near-death stuff. And he got an invitation to compete, I think, at the Olympia. And he was torn to do it, geared, or not do it, because he was going to not do gear. And he did it no gear. Mike Morris.
Okay.
I'm going to talk to Mike as well.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Because he couldn't. He said he never thought in a million years he'd be asked to compete at that level.
Right.
And now he's natural. And he goes, what do I do? I committed to not taking gear anymore. So he decided to condition himself to do it with natural.
Wow.
So he knew instead of doing one last crack and going for gold, he didn't want to take his life, but he still wanted to give it a go. So there you go.
Yeah.
That's sometimes you can get information, like I said, stories to add to the ultimate prize.
Sure.
To the Natty King.
Yeah, 100%.
Does that make sense?
And it does. And like it's for me, it's always about this whole perception of gold. Like, what is gold? Why are steroids a part of the equation in order to achieve this idea of gold? What is this gold, you know?
Okay.
We'll get to the bottom of it.
I'm sure we will. So I just, before we go over the body, I'll read the last paragraph. Your beliefs, future goals, what are you working towards now? You said, I believe in powers of the imagination, focus, and self-belief. I believe that such skills can be honed to superhuman levels. My future goals are to go down in history as the greatest natural bodybuilder of all time, the Natty King. I want to make a movie and a documentary about the story of becoming the greatest natural bodybuilder of all time. And then I want to be the mayor of Los Angeles later down the line, pay homage to my father and to Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Amen.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. 100% on all fronts. I should also add anime, because I'm a big anime fan. And the Natty King I like to refer to as a cinematic universe, not too dissimilar from the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So what starts out as a docuseries then becomes a feature-length film the end goal is to have an anime that takes place 20 years in the future after the first crowning of the Natty King. And we would be able to display a future where the Natty King influence has kind of taken hold around the world. And we can show a society that is more prioritized around natural human potential, health and wellness, and longevity. So we're looking to show something of an idyllic future based on the principles and the success of the original Natty King.
I love it. Well, we've done an anime. You saw the character that Chris created, the one that says all the phrases.
Oh, yeah.
The little cartoon character. Yeah, we're actually thinking he's going to take over. So,
I love this. I love this.
all right. At the end of the podcast, we go over the body.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to give you a body part.
Okay.
And you're going to give me one exercise.
Okay.
And
Easy.
sets and reps. All right.
Love it. Love it.
All right. Just going to go over the body. Whether you train or not doesn't matter. You can say past, whatever. Traps.
Traps, don't train them. But if you're going to do them, dumbbell shrugs are fantastic. 4 sets, 15 reps.
All right. Delts, rear delts.
Rear delts, rear delt fly. I really like to use the pec deck machine. So basically like you're essentially doing 4 sets, again, 15 reps.
Okay. Front delts.
Front delts, I don't really train front delts as much as I used to. But when I do, Arnold press, let's say we'll go with 4 sets, 15 reps again.
Okay. Side delts.
Side delts, lateral raises, fantastic. I swear by lateral raises. And depending on the day, we can say 3 sets, 15 reps.
Okay. Chest.
Chest, incline, bench press, 4 sets, 8 reps.
Okay. Back.
Back, I would. There's multiple back workouts, but we'll go with. Right now, I'm focused on back thickness. So we'll do cable rows.
Yep.
5 sets, 12 reps.
Abs.
Leg, hanging leg raises. 4 sets, 15 reps.
Bicep.
Bicep curls, supinated, 1 at a time. And we'll just do 5 sets, 20, 5 sets for 20.
Okay. Tricep
push down, rope, rope, cable, push down. And we will do 4 sets for 15.
Forearms.
I don't train forearms, but if the gym has them, that there's this little forearm squeezer thing where you can like load up.
Yeah.
And I would just say 4 sets, 12 reps.
Quads,
leg press, 5 sets, 12 reps.
hamstring
Curls, 5 sets, 15 reps.
glutes,
What are those bridges things?
hip thrust, hip thrust,
Hip thrust. 3 sets, 10 reps.
calves,
that's easy. What do you call that? Calf raises, machine calf raises, and 6 sets, 20 reps.
tibialis.
Wow. 5 sets. I can't remember what that thing is called, but they don't really have them at a lot of places. But basically, like tibialis raises.
Yeah, we've got it at our gym. That's just
Lucky. 5 sets, 20 reps.
All right, time to promote yourself. Where can we find you? What should we be looking out for?
I'm really easy to find on all socials. It's at Shaun Fury, SHAUN Fury, like Fist of Fury. My brother is Nick Fury, who is the agent of Shield. He's also my little brother. But I'm across the board: Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, just at Shaun Fury. And I think that's what you asked, right?
Yeah. You've got the Natty King as well, which is which they can follow, which you're putting it together.
Yeah.
Mate, I just want to say thank you so much. What a great podcast. Well, I think
Yeah,
it's great. Let me talk myself up.
You've given me a lot to reflect on. You said some things that I have like an hour-long drive ahead of me, and I'll be thinking about the discussions and topics that we went over.
Well, at least you'll get to hear it in a few weeks when we do load this up and launch it.
I'm looking forward to it.
Likewise, brother.
This was dope.
It was dope. Cheers, man.
Thank you.
Hey guys, another podcast done with another wonderful guest. They're all greats, no matter who they are. To continue what we're doing and bring in the very best, if you could subscribe, hit the notification bell, press like, it only helps us to grow this channel even further and continue watching us here on YouTube or listening to us here on Spotify.